Hello everybody and welcome here to the Razer Academy videos where we help you learn Dota. We're doing hero profiles today and we're going to do a hero which really is a lot more up my alley than the Invoker. And for people who don't know what that is, check out the old video of the Invoker. Not that my best work, but this time, you know what? I said, let's find ourselves a hero which I know back to front. As far as Prophet goes, I think he is definitely the most hero I have played in all games of Dota. So I want to run you through different things you can do with Prophet, the different builds, everything to do with Prophet, the way you try and build his skills, way you try and build his items, and your role in the game. Let's jump ourselves into the game, in fact, and let's start up. Just a random game. We're going to do it with a whole bunch of bots. Now, as we're going to go through Prophet, want to point out a couple of things. Actually, I should point out the first thing too. Normally we have like question time for this kind of thing. This is actually being done ahead of schedule. That's right, because I am traveling over to DreamHack and other things. So this is for you when I'm away, so you don't have to go, wow, I cannot live without Dota education. This is one way to do it. So yeah, let's look at our Prophet. So Nature's Prophet, a lot of people know him as Furion. The ability to TP anywhere on the map. It used to be a little bit more restrictive. Used to be with Prophet, you could only TP to areas that were revealed. There's the old-fashioned days of, you ever watch Melk play Prophet? He would take a flying courier very early on, send it around the entire length of the map, and then get vision inside the base. You can snipe off couriers that way. Doesn't really happen anymore because the couriers have protection inside Dota 2. So he's up here on the top little thing. So Nature's Prophet, let's pick him up. I, of course, have just a couple of extra customizable things for him. But we'll go with him. So Nature's Prophet, yes, I said, as his second ability, allows him to TP anywhere on the map. It can be anywhere. You can TP anywhere except for out of the map. You got to stay inside the map region. But you can TP anywhere, Fog of War or not Fog of War. And it's basically this huge global-ass ability. His first ability is what's called Sprout. So Sprout will allow you to create a set of trees. You can do this in two ways. You can either target stun on somebody. This will pop off things like Lincoln Spheres. So if you got spells like that, it's very, very difficult for Prophet to trigger that. But you can get ways around that. If you've got someone who has a Lincoln Sphere, all you really need to do is actually just target it to the ground. Now, that sounds simple, but it's actually not. In fact, let me just pause the game right now. Thank you for summoning the forces of nature. Okay, so that's the Sprout. Sprout is one of these things which, when you cast it, in fact, let's just take him to a random area. We're going to rehost the game multiple times, and let's let me pause. I wish we won't worry about it. So let's go TP ourselves up here. I got
Prepare for battle.
I've got cheats enabled for this one, so we can just spam our ability. So let's walk ourselves around here, and we can spam up anything we want. So welcome to Nature's Prophet. This is the man right now. As I said, I've customized him just a little bit, so he might be a little bit different to your guy. So the global teleportation, this little thing here. So I TP just into Fog of War. Nothing really has to worry about that. Life is easy. Life is good. Who cares about it? It's great. Sprout. So this is the Sprout ability. Allows you to create a set of trees. Get off the levels. So a set of trees are created. In this region around here, inside the tree area, you actually have vision. So the trees will give you vision in a small area around the Sprout. So if you want to do it, well, let's look over this way. So we'll just have a little bit of a wander up into the Rosh Pit. But you might see some teams do this. In fact, let's just TP it, because we can go anywhere we want to. It's the wonders of Prophet. So inside Rosh, I might want to know if someone's up on the higher ground. Someone might be wanting to gank me. So I cast my Sprout up on the high ground. And there's your extra vision. So a very large amount of vision, they disappear, and you're out of vision. Bit of a downer. But it's an easy way to do it. I'm just going to level this up so I don't have to have orange boxes on my screen all the time. So, easy to get vision, and also it blocks the vision. If you want to do it, all you got to do is just like come into a weird point of the lane. Imagine you got a whole bunch of guys who are chasing you and they're trying to come up the river. All you got to do is just double tap your Q and instant cast the Sprout in yourself. No one can see you inside that tree. It acts like a normal Fog of War. So normally when you walk around the edge of a tree, let me find a tree just by itself. So here's generally a great indication of a tree. So I want to walk up, tell me, yeah, damn it, my allies put down wards. So we're going to use a tree further up. So I come up here, and I can't see behind that tree. Same thing if I go around it. So the Fog of War will change. And it's the same kind of thing when you cast your Sprout. People cannot see you inside of here. So if you want to try and get an easy, quick jump out, you go the Sprout, and then double-click your TP, and that'll send you directly back to base. Just like a TP scroll does, you can focus target it wherever you want to go. So yeah, you can do it that way, or you can just double tap it. Also to note too, when you do the sprout, the enemy, when you like, if I TP down here, he'll start to hear that, and they'll know that someone might be coming in to attack. So you can actually use Sprout as an intimidation factor. Doesn't have to go anywhere. There's no cooldown on Sprout until it's fully cast, and there's no mana cost on Sprout until it's also fully cast. So it's a big thing for Prophets to have that global presence. Means also it's the classic phrase of a dual lane turns into a tri-lane turns into a quad lane turns into all 5 full-on team go. Because this at this point is Sven and Razer, they might look at bottom lane. So what do you want to do? Like, do we want to gank this? Let's just ping for the bots to know. And yeah, they're instantly going to go for it. I love it. And now we can turn around and we can find the Earthshaker out. You can Sprout, hold him in place. Sure, he's going to stun, but he's held inside the Sprout for a long time. And that's just that easy thing. Like, this lane would have been very, very balanced at that point. You got an Earthshaker and a Windrunner. Classic side lane. In fact, the bots are actually quite good. But that's the classic side lane, a lane which normally you shouldn't be able to kill off. But just the presence of Prophet to be able to TP anywhere and just throw down that Sprout is just a huge, huge thing. So let's look at our builds, in fact. So I want to restart this game out because I already leveled up to 25, so I can show you those. Oh, yeah. So I can show you those abilities. So we'll just create it. Boom, boom, boom. Settings should be exactly the same. So off we go again. So that's the basic presence of Prophet. You do also have his trees and his ultimate. I want to look at that for the jungle side of things. The ultimate, I also want to say, do not use the ultimate unless you're being pushed. It's a big thing for Prophet. Whenever you're playing a public game and you're playing with a Prophet on your team and he's just spamming out the ultimate, it is frustrating as hell to everyone else on your team because you steal the farm. The Prophet ultimate will bounce around the entire map anywhere there is vision and will deal damage and more damage as it continues to bounce. This steals all the last hits, basically. Depending on your timing for it, it can steal all the last hits. But also, depending on your timing, it can deal a lot of damage to an enemy wave which is coming in on a tier 1 tower of yours, or tier 2 tower, whatever tower, or enemies of yours. And that kind of damage can be enough just to tick an enemy over. It might be enough damage just to make him dead, or to deal that extra damage which then forces him off the lane, or something like that. So you got to try and look at these different things where Prophet Ultimate can be used properly. I love, do we almost get exactly the same combination? No, we got a little bit different.
I summon
Okay.
forces of nature.
So well, I'm going to ignore basically what the AI has selected as far as heroes go, because that's not what I want to do. Right now, I want to talk about what you can do from this early level. What can you do as Prophet? We're going to talk about trees first Prophet. So Nature's Call, it is your E ability. You can cast on the side trees here, and then send your trees out. Now the fun little thing about this is, if you get your timing right, most of the time, you can get 2 sets of trees off. So you can send them up towards the top, and you send another one down towards the bottom. This will be good intel for your lanes. So all the players which are out here can be like, oh, okay, well, I'm not quite sure what lanes we're up against. Do we know where the SK is going up against a Broodmother? Do we know this kind of intelligence? So you just send the trees up. You've got to be careful. These guys are worth money as well as experience. So you don't want to really just throw them away. And we're already seeing that this Windrunner is heading up towards the top lanes. This is just a simple scout. A very, very simple scout. I'm going to make another set of trees, and I'll show you why in a moment. So this tree already spotted the Windrunner going up towards the top lane, and this one's digging in a long way. This used to be a lot more important before they changed Prophet's second ability, which allowed him to TP anywhere. In this case, you'd normally just use this tree to scout around the back end, so you can go, oh, okay, whoops, tree dies, and all of a sudden that takes control. But yeah, you used to use the trees to scout, so it was revealed areas you would TP to. Now this time is a little bit wrong because I didn't instantly jump myself inside the game and create trees, because I was slightly distracted talking to you guys. But you have your trees which can scan out the runes. So these guys can attack like a normal unit. So you got a double damage here, no one's going to be taking it. So what do? You want to try and deny the rune, or at least scout out for your own teammates that this rune is here. No one's going to take it, and you use the tree to deny it. Just simple A button, attack, and get rid of it. That's this kind of thing which you can use your trees for. This is that control you can use with your trees. So let's look at Jungle Prophet and the build you'll want to go for Jungle Prophet. Now we've got a little bit more money because we've been in this a little bit longer. But most of the time, it depends on the way you want to build your Jungle Prophet. When you go trees first, you've only got really 2 options you can do. One is go into jungle, and the other one is to go top lane solo. Now the top lane solo we can probably do right now. Let's see. In fact, let me just go level up. I only want to go to level 2.
The sun
And in fact, it just gave me 2 levels, so just so I can come towards the top lane. So what you can do is this, you'll normally be on the top lane when you do this.
I go.
Create a couple of trees. And you want to set them up to be here at the 15-second mark. Now, we're a little bit early for this, but that doesn't matter. I'm guessing my opponents think they got a little bit more to play with. But you can send these guys up, and sorry, on the 20 mark, it's 50 mark you pull. And these guys, actually, I got my timing perfectly right. So you can do these with your trees. So if you're on a solo lane, the biggest trouble is always the creep wave will never come in. It will never be there at the right time, and you can't farm. So now you can just hold it there away from the tower, and with this, you get all the farm you need. You can pull it back in range of the tower, but when you start doing this, last hitting becomes a little bit more difficult. But this is just something you can do when you run side lane profit. And the amount of levels you'll achieve from just one creep wave is really quite high.
In Sylvan
And it's the levels the Prophet needs. What you have right now with the skill builder Prophet for a side lane solo is perfect. 1 set in trees to pull, 1 in teleportation, and 1 in sprout. And the main reason why I say this is the perfect build for a side lane Prophet is because side lane Prophet is okay because you're able to pull that experience, so when you pull from the top like I showed you. But what makes him great is when he says, you know what, now I can gank up another lane. So I can head down bottom lane. Is it a guaranteed kill? This one definitely is not. In fact, I'm probably going to die right now because I TP'd in blindly. But the Crystal Maiden decides to stick around. Oh, wow, really? Wind on a shackle. It's a pain in the ass. Actually, we might be able to pull this one off. But it's just things like this where you can TP down towards the bottom lane. And from here, you'll start to level up your TP more than anything else. I'm not going to get in range for that. But you can start leveling up your TP more than anything else. Because then you can keep moving in between the lanes, get back up towards the top lane, and you don't miss out on anything. It's the reason why, even if Prophet's a side lane solo, you can throw someone like a Venomancer up on that top lane to deal with it in the meantime. So that's what you get from a Prophet who initially starts off with... Actually, let me just go... refresh. We'll jump back to base.
missing top.
Wow, really? Did Shaker just say missing top? LOL! Yeah, but it lets you get out of your lanes, and that gives you a lot more extra experience. And when you go that top Prophet, you can go many different builds. One build you can try and go for is the Earn build. It's not a bad way to do a top solo Prophet. Most of the time you need consumables and life points to live through the original blast. So you look to try and pick up a couple of tangos. You look to get maybe a Ring of Protection. Most of the time, if you are going to go that side lane, you get a Ring of Protection just so you don't get harassed too much, and then you can convert it into the Ring of Basilius. When you get the Ring of Basilius, though, turn it off if you're playing the side lane. If you play the side lane and you have the Ring of Basilius on, it's going to push your lane back out again, and that's not what you want. As a Prophet, you want to keep the lane as close to this Tier 1 tower as possible. If you go past that Tier 1 tower, then it's dangerous world, and you have to use your trees to scout, and that's the reason why you pull the creep wave on the top, because it still keeps that experience coming in, but at the safety of your Tier 1 tower, you don't die, you get involved in ganks, and life is all good. So there's multiple ways you can do it.
Yes.
Ring of Basilius is kind of like the way I prefer to do it, but that's because I spend a lot of my time in the jungle. So when I first start off, and many jungle Prophets will do this very differently. The reason why I will generally go, this is your starting items, full Ring of Basilius, as well as 2 clarities. You'll then be broke. There'll be no cash left. But the reason why you can do this is, check this out when you go first level trees, and you go, awesome, great, let's send them up, and we're going to farm up the easy camp, which is here. I want to bring my Prophet with me. Now you'll notice I create the trees back at base. I don't just go out there and create them. This is what you can do from the very get-go. That's 160 mana which you regenerate while standing back at base and use these trees. And these trees will have a decent amount of life on them. You can farm up this entire easy camp with this set of trees. Nothing can really stop that. So as they go in, you come and join them as well.
Top is missing.
And you'll notice that these guys will last a lot longer than trees normally would.
On my way.
So at this point, these guys are walking around with the +2 armor from the Ring of Basilius. So trees that normally have no armor whatsoever have the +2, and you got normal mana regen. Also, nice little tip too, if you are going up against a camp and your tree's getting low, just send him a little bit further away. You don't need to do that massive run, but it is a range creep, hence I send him that far away. But that's just one of those times when you go, okay, sweet, awesome. My trees survive a little bit longer, I get through the entire camp, and because I keep them alive, I have that extra little bit of damage. So because I got that extra damage, I don't have to worry too much about the next wave because I can keep them using as like meat shields. The more trees you have, the more damage you deal is what I'm trying to say. All right, I want to show you another thing. So we just turned the Ring of Basilius off. So you notice the glow now disappears. And we're going to do the same camp again.
Come.
So now watch how fast these guys die. So exactly the same Harpy Scouts. Last time around, I managed to get through with one of my treants, and I wasn't even microing him at that point. One of my treants sitting on very, very low life. This is kind of the same because I'm a level 3 prophet. Most of the time, you wouldn't get through this creep wave, and these harpies are a little bit easier. But if I was to micro this kind of guy, see, we're still going to lose one. But it's just removing that extra armor, which I always enjoy. And you still get the mana regen at 1.7 while you go. So 1.7 mana per second. Now this camp, that just disintegrates creeps. And without that +2 armor, it doesn't really do much. Because these guys hurt really, really hard. So you need that extra, just a little bit of extra armor early on. Is that little bit extra advantage inside the jungle. Now what you want to build to, if you're going to go this type of build, and you're going to spend a lot of time inside the jungle, then what you want to build for is what's called a Hand of Midas. So you want to get your Gloves of Haste into the Hand of Midas recipe. This will set you back a full 1900. But early on, it lets you move a lot faster through the creep camps because you'll be picking up a Glove of Haste. So with a Glove of Haste, you attack a lot faster. Trees are just your meat shields, basically, and all you gotta do is just keep your mana up. That's what your 2 Clarity Potions are for. You will be going through those as you transition between the camps. And this is a lot easier to do when you're on the Dire side, as opposed to the Radiant side. And the Radiant side is safer farm for you, because you farm up what's called the easy camp, which is this camp here, and you farm up a little bit more of a harder camp down here, but you'll slowly niggle away at this little guy. Pulling is possible, but only when you start to clear off a lot of these trees and you pull this direction up the screen. And then you can pull from the middle lane. But they make it difficult so you can't pull from the middle lane because the middle lane is supposed to be a very, very balanced lane. And you can be careful with pulling the middle lane because then it's going to pull the creep wave over the top and then onto the tier 1 tower. And having your tier 1 tower take damage in the middle lane is a lot more dangerous than a tier 1 tower taking damage on the top. And when you pull on the top, like if you're pulling from this little camp up towards the top, it's the same as the bottom where you pull from this camp down towards the bottom. When that kind of stuff happens, you got some space to move. You can pull the creep wave back past the tower. It's not too bad. It's not too difficult. Life isn't that hard because you can generally time it right. But yeah, this is the safer area to farm. When you're playing on the Dire side, in fact, let's just go up there and do it right now. I'm a little bit late for this pull, so I'll wait for the next one. And it's going to be difficult too because I'm going to have the Dire creep wave also taking aggro on me, not to mention the tower. So these creep camps obviously just respawn, and this is the setup you do. So you hit 10 seconds. Let's right-click this camp. These guys are a little bit faster, so I might have slightly stalled this up, because these guys will turn around in a couple of moments. But they're far enough away that that creep camp is going to respawn. So what you want to do is, you hit the 5-second mark, right-click this camp. Now this camp will follow up. The funny thing is, though, this aggro is definitely going to work, because I'm going to take the aggro from the Dire creep wave. I'm going to shift it over towards this one. So because I'm on the Radiant side, this isn't entirely functioning correctly. So this comes up, and hello, Tiny is going to kill me while I'm doing this. Damn you to hell. Wonderful thing about buyback. But what's still happening is right. Tiny might come and kill me. I don't really care right now. But there's one creep left there. So what you do is you pull from this camp. So I got a double stack now from what I did before. And this creep wave has actually moved on because I'm already too late. This is what happens when you die. But you got to get that timing right where you can pull it off to the side and then you can do that again. But I can actually, just for giggles, I'm going to triple stack this. And just keep the aggro flying out. But you just pull up, and this is what you can do as a prophet if you don't have a Ring of Basilius and you don't want to use your trees as, again, really, Tiny, just leave me alone. All I got to do is get myself out of here safely, and I need my TP to be off cooldown for that one, which I might be able to do, depending how fast I can type.
With a wild
And just in case anyone's thinking about anything, we can do that. Okay, so that's what you can do when you pull. If you're not going to go the Ring of Basilius build, and if you're not going to go the Ring of Basilius build, let's just sell this. And what you can go is your starting items. So what you want is still a Ring of Protection early on if you can get it. And that's just for yourself because you're probably going to be tanking up a little bit while you do this. So you go Ring of Protection and Gauntlet. This is going to help you build towards your urn. You can also still go with your Toby mask. The question is, it's really a personal choice for how fast you want to build to the urn. Normally, you don't have this much cash. In fact, if I sell these guys, I think I might even be almost at the exact amount. Oh yeah, almost. But you can do that, and then you got very little left. You can go with maybe 2 clarities. It's up to you. But this just helps you build towards that urn. And urn build is... You do need Sprout, and it's still kind of like the same build, and it does slow down how much you can farm, which is a little bit frustrating. But you're not there for just the farm. You're there for the ganks. So you'd come in here, you create your trees. Also do that really fast, because you notice I still held on to like maybe plus 29 mana regeneration at that point. And the reason for that was you still have the effects of the whirl after you TP out. So when you TP instantly, cast your trees instantly. Because then your mana regen is still going to remain. So you keep on with that. Alright, but now you see, come up, farm up a creep wave, fantastic. Do that with basic items. Not difficult at all. But what I want is a kill. And if I can find a kill, if I can get enough, even then I got another 1500. And all I need right now is 250 for the urn recipe. It's very, very cheap, very, very easy. But I can look for a kill directly after getting that urn, and then I get my charges. And I become more of a pusher. So after you've done that, it's like, get away from me, creep wave. Lol, I locked one in with me. Yeah, you have to stick around. So let's just say gold. That can work. So I want to finish my urn. So I finish up my urn. Fantastic. Now I've got an urn. I want kills. I also want to push. So what do? Because I know I'm going to be going around the map and I can be a ganker, but I also want to give something back to my team. So the next item I build towards is what we call as a mech, but it's a mechanism. So 2,300 and 6 gold to create it. Takes a lot of small items, and this is what's great about the Prophet. So why a lot of Prophets sometimes don't go straight up with your gauntlets going straight for the urn. It's a bit of a rush item, and you've got to make sure you've got an aggressive team when you do that. But you can go up for your small items, so a couple of ironwood branches here or there. Or your ring of regen, your chainmail. These little things you can build up. So you might think, oh, he's going to go magic wand. It's like, no, you can build into a mech. So let's go gold, and we're going to give 4K gold. Fantastic. So I want to finish off my mech, so I'll just buy my entire mech. So what do I want to do? I want to go and kill somebody. So I just changed my little item slots over, and I want to find an opening. So I'm back at base, and I just found one on the top lane. It's the Juggernaut. So the Juggernaut I can in fact solo right now. All I gotta do is just get that sprout on him, which is not gonna happen. It's like, great, thank you. You know what? Just to make him really fear. Oh, what? No. Okay, sprout. Finally, thank you. I actually can't kill him. I don't have the damage to do so because I've gone my support build. And now I'm getting ganked up, so I'll just pop off mech and get out of here. Because it's not going to work. And in fact, if VS is going to chase me, wow, this is like a comedy of errors. I don't even type level up in time. This is what happens when you go out raw and you got to go with support. Huh. It's actually supposed to work. There we go. It does. I was typing something level 25. Oh, I had the space. Cool. And now I'm this high. I shouldn't have that happen again. Most of the time you don't dive suicidally like that as a Prophet because you're just asking to be killed. And you also don't try and sprout yourself in with everybody else. Oh, the downside. Okay. Give me a kill opportunity. Okay, Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden. What's up, Crystal Maiden? Let's go here. Crystal Maiden. Ping for my team to initiate. Go for the sprout. Awesome. Now I've got 2 urn charges. We can also see the Windrunner here. I have no sprout again. But right now, we noticed Zeus is taking a decent chunk of damage. So what do I want to give him? The urn charge, which I just claimed. So this lets your team push again. So you can create your army, and you can push it out. And now we've noticed too, the Die have realized that I'm here, and they've pulled 3 people in towards this middle lane. Not what they want to have to deal with. Yeah, that's grammar.
Yes.
And my team calls for pushing top. So let's rotate top. Easy to move around, because once you're up at level 4 for your sprout, for your TP, 20 seconds is all it's going to take. So very, very easy to move around. We're spotting the Crystal Maiden again. So I want to ping around so my bots start going for her. In fact, let's go to VS. VS is in a better position. And we can do this again. Give Earthshaker just a little bit of life so we can survive through this one. And if worse comes to worse as well,
Your middle tower.
get him to group up and give him a mech charge.
The enemy's top tower.
So basically, you're a walking health pot, and every single time you get a kill, we go up again. So we've got another 2 earn charges to use.
My hidden paths.
So we can just keep attacking this way. I don't think I'm going to kill off the Windrunner right now, but with an earn charge, I definitely will. She's going to tick over no matter what right now. And Crystal Maiden wants to stick around and fight this one, but we keep on getting earn charges.
On my way.
And that means life for the Earthshaker. So you're a huge walking, ganking machine. You can move anywhere on the map. You don't deal a lot of damage. You're a positional kind of guy. You just want to be there for your team. This isn't always the way you play a Prophet. Prophet can be played as a split push like we saw during the International Qualifiers final, whereas Prophet and Tinker that work together, and it just becomes a pusher. And that's where the Hand of Midas comes into play. You can look at Aghanim Scepter, and you look at items which give you more attack damage so you can push out faster. And you can go builds like Majorna. It's always a fun one. That lets you push out a lot faster. And the creep waves basically disintegrate when you go that kind of build. I know I want to kind of show you one fun build I do as we're just going to wrap this little thing up. But one little fun build that I love to do as Nature's Prophet is called my Crypt Prophet. This is my own personal build. The only way, and I just want to say this, for those guys out there who are just like, you know what, Crypt Prophet doesn't work, you are actually 100% correct. Crypt Prophet should not work in any competitive game. So if you want to do a competitive game, do not do this. I'm going to show you 2 fun builds you can do as a Prophet. This will require a large amount of farm for the first one, and very little farm for the second one. So let's get rid of these items. We don't want this. What you'll normally get to start off with is treads. Standard thing for this. What you want to look at for, let's go with the Milk build. I kind of enjoy this as the Milk build. And this is burst damage anywhere you want. So what we want is a Ghost Scepter. 1600 gold for that one. And then we want to get a Dagon. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit and give myself a high level Dagon. So I want that much money, and I want Dagon level 4. Okay, so I got Ghost Scepter and Dagon. Now, this is the giggle kind of thing where you can go around and just destroy anybody. So I find a whole bunch of people in the middle lane. Probably not going to be the best place to go, but hey, let's do it anyway. So who do we want? Let's go to VS. Actually, sorry, I got this slightly wrong. Because has anybody realized the part I'm missing right now? Because it's not supposed to be the Ghost Scepter. I need a little bit more money. There we go.
Through shady
So just move myself up here. It's the Ethereal Blade. A lot of people see it as a shotgun, so you need the Eagle Song as well as the Ghost Scepter. Gotta remember to complete that.
en route.
So now we can go around ganking. We can always just hit the refresh button. Screw it. There's only even a couple seconds left on it. So let me find someone at full life. I want to find a big carry to do this to. And I can kind of do this to anybody that's anywhere on the map. And all this is just your burst damage. So your Ethereal Blade, which is basically... It gives you the shot, but more importantly, it puts the Ethereal Blade focus on an enemy target. Okay, so here we go. We've got Juggernaut. Crystal Maiden's there as well, but I want the Juggernaut. So in we come. I need my vision. In fact, not while he's spinning. I actually cannot do it while he's spinning. I wouldn't say the bot knows that. But there we go. So we do that. And I hit my wrong button. But we can Dagon him as well. So basically just amplifies it so you can do that to anybody. We'll just put our abilities back up again. In fact, just to hunt the kill. So I want somebody. Are they hiding on their tower? I think they're hiding on their tower.
Through shady
But this is the kind of thing you can do to anybody. Hello. There we go. So, boom and boom. Almost guaranteed kill on anybody you're going to find. Now, that's the Milk build. Milk really enjoys that build because she can kill anybody on the map. Very, very similar, but it costs a crap load of money.
on my way.
And this is always the Rothfield builds with Prophet, because Prophet can just sit inside the jungle and just do nothing the entire time. Now, what you want to do as a Crypt Prophet, and this is the last Rothfield build I'm going to show you, we're going to sell this up, we're going to jump ourselves into Strength Treads, and the first item you want to go is the Hand of Midas. Hand of Midas is so crucial to this. You even rush Hand of Midas after you go the Ring of... So you get the Ring of Basilius, and you go Hand of Midas. Now, this is a rush build. So your Ring of Basilius as well as 2 Clarities is what you start off with. That lets you farm up as fast as you possibly can. You get the glove up as fast as you can as well, because that lets you farm faster. And then you get the Hand of Midas, and as I said, it's an expensive item, but it's going to pay off for you in the end. Because for an item build this big, you need to have a lot of cash. So what you want to go as your next item after you go Treads as well as Hand of Midas is Shadow Blade. Now, a lot of people could look at this as an insanely cheap item, and it basically is.
At long
Shadowblade is just one of these items that's like, oh, I want to push out the bottom lane. I can come down here, not a problem at all. I create a couple of trees, attack them forward, and off they go. Fantastic. Somebody comes in, I get a little bit scared about it. I've already got a decent chunk of damage, so no one really want to face up against me while I'm doing this. It's also because I'm level 25 and 21 minutes in, and that's another reason for it. But if I want to push this out and all of a sudden I go, oh, wait, I can die,
sylvan
all I gotta do is just hide myself up and TP myself out to another lane. This is the cheap-ass pushing of lanes. This means you don't have to stay inside the jungle, which is great because that's going to let your hard carry get the farm that he really requires.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And other times, you can also have that extra burst damage, because I don't know if a lot of people know this. A lot of people just look at Shadowblade as that thing which just lets them hide. But if we want to do it here in the middle lane, like, okay, so Tiny is here. Now, Tiny's got a decent chunk of damage on him. And he might even do it. Okay, so Tiny's on the run from me, so I get extra movement speed. And I also get the crit when I come out of it. You notice how much damage I took off him with that crit? So you get that extra damage, and I can chase him down right now. In fact, I could have just sprouted him then, but it's easy enough. So you just keep hunting him this way. But it also means when I'm up here, so if your jungle's under siege, and this is what you can do when you play pub games, and you get massively shut out. So you're getting everyone ganking up your jungle, and it's just an absolute pain in the ass. You can come up here.
pull roots and run.
Your trees are the meat shields. Let's just use a Hand of Midas, which I normally would have in that slot.
So I go.
And you can just farm up inside the jungle. And there's my double stack from before, which they haven't been in here to collect. But if someone comes in, and nope, already power shots there, I'm not feeling too safe, and I have auto attack on. Great.
Nature calls.
My casting setup's a little bit different to my normal playing setup. But if something like that happens, then all you gotta do is hit Shadowblade.
Spirit.
And while you hit Shadowblade, you don't come out of it. It's very, very similar to Shadow Fiend.
Through shady lanes.
Because if you're invis with Shadowblade, and you pop a spell, you don't get revealed until the split second before it's finished. And then you're out by then. It's the same with Shadow Fiend, who can use the Shadow Blade to get himself into a position, then he can cast his ultimate, and then he will be revealed only maybe 0.1 of a second before the ulti is cast. And you've got to have lightning reflexes to get away with that kind of thing. So this is the start of the build. From here, you go Crystallis,
Your middle tower has fallen.
which is an easy item to build up, and then that goes into your Daedalus. So 5750 is how much this entire thing costs. You get the Crystallis from the shop, and then you also get your Daedalus recipe, and you complete it by just coming up to this little guy up here. So you go up to your little side boy and buy a Demon Edge. And by that point, you deal a large chunk of damage, like a large chunk of damage. And you can go anything you want after this point. You can really do anything you want at this point. At this point, normally I would go and...
Not ready.
Well, I want to TP back to base in 2 seconds, and I'll build up towards towards Monkey King Bar. Normally I'll go this kind of thing, like when there's heroes like Windrunner or something like that. And there's my Monkey King Bar. So it's a double Javelin to complete it, and that combines up. So now your damage is rather insane, and your pushing power is just as insane.
It's not
So you look up towards this top lane again. Just wait for the 20 seconds to cool down, because I just want to move everywhere on the map every single time.
It's not time.
Actually, I could probably just type in WTF. Yep, everything's off cooldown now. Should have done that from the get-go. But this is how much damage you can deal as a prophet. Now, this is still 24 minutes in. You're not going to have this level of farm. But the pushing power you can deal towards towers, this'll still be the same when you hit later on in the game. And everybody's come up here to help me. But when you want to push on the side lanes, or in the middle lanes, you can push hard, you can push fast, and the enemy normally won't be ready for it. And that's what makes this crit profit build kind of really work. It comes into a stride about 30 minutes into the game, and you can also use it very early on, but you can start critting, and I'm already critting at 870. So I'm getting 870 crit out of this profit. You'll notice when you get to this point, though, you're right, I'm just starting to get into a bad position. You've got a Ring of Basilius, you've got a Shadow Blade. Shadow Blade you'll hold on to until they really try and actively counter you. And even then, sometimes you'll hold on to it for a little bit longer because of that extra burst damage you have with the crit. In fact, let's do something really stupid right now and jump in here. So instantly you want to go invis, and I find the Crystal Maiden. So there's the crit. So you can basically 1 hit to 2 hit somebody. You look for the supports most of the time to do that too. And that's where it becomes a Rolfer build. As I said, like this, the shotgun prophet, where you have the ethereal blade with the Dagon, it's meant to be a joke. This is just that fun build which you try and see if you can get to. Just a little challenge when you play as prophet. But most of the time, you try and, what the hell? Everyone's buying back into the game. But most of the time, you'll either go support lane pushing, and you can do that from inside the jungle, or you can also go the solo mid role, and you go a little bit more of a hard carry Prophet, and you become a sheepstick kind of guy. If you're looking for the, like, I told you about the urn, I told you about the mech, the biggest thing you can normally go on a Prophet, and this is what every Prophet should be working towards. And let me just go. So you get the Mystic Staff there, and it goes into the Scythe of Vice. So the sheepstick is what you want. So let's sell this, let's sell this. In fact, let's just sell everything, which I don't want. I kind of want the Shadow Blade, but we'll get rid of that too. So you get the Ultimate Orb from the shop. Nice early stats. Mana regen as well, and then the Mystic Staff. So your sheepstick just becomes one of these things where you can gank anywhere on the map. Now I'm going to... No. Okay, there's someone coming out. Great. Fantastic. So Zeus wants to engage, and I can come in, and there's the instant Hex. At moments like that, you can lock a hero like an anti-mage out, or you can make an opening exactly like that. He's just on the edge there. Without that Hex, that gank would not have worked. But you're this Hex which can go anywhere on the map. Just realized I got WTF mode on. So basically, this is perma Hex, which is always fun. Gotta love WTF mode. Yeah, but the sheepstick, such a great initiation tool, and you can build it up from the mech as well. The sheepstick takes you a little bit too long to build towards, and that's again where the Hand of Midas comes in. Prophet just gives you such a great economy advantage from the get-go, let alone stacking it with a Hand of Midas. So that's basically Prophet. There is one last thing we can do with a Prophet, and that's... So I'm just going to show you right now instead of restarting to see how you do it. And this is when you go solo mid. So you're a Prophet in solo mid. What do you want to do as your first ability? Teleportation is your first ability. 50 seconds cooldown, but when you hit that 2-minute mark, you have someone just playing a ward, just like this guy here. Ward doesn't spawn on pop. You TP directly towards the top lane. And this is called a rune control Prophet. He can run bottle if he wants to because of this, because he'll always have mana, he'll always have life. And this just becomes a CS Prophet, and it's those kind of Prophets that do need to build towards things just like into treads and then straight in towards the mech or the Scythe of Vice, whichever one. If you think you can rush the Scythe of Vice, then you do so. But most of the time as the Prophet, it's all about basically getting those runes and locking them down. So you want to pick up Prophet for solo mid up against heroes like Queen of Pain. Even though she's a great laner, if she can't control her rune, she's in trouble. It's the same with Tiny going solo mid. If he can't control the runes, he can't really do anything. Okay, so they're going to push mid. I'm just going to laugh at them by popping Ultimate. Ultimate just disintegrates the entire creep wave and pushes out everything else. And these guys want to kind of engage in middle lane. Oh, I'm happy to do that. There's a VS here, and let's just kill off the Crystal Maiden. Because I'm still level 25, so I hit hard. I also managed to lock myself in my trees. Fun thing about creating a sprout around yourself and then creating trees all around you, you got to expect, yeah, I'm gonna get locked in place, aren't I? Alright, for those guys too who want to play around with WTF mode, all you gotta do is just type WTF when you're in. Wow! Oh man, these guys feel like they're stronger than what they really are. They were getting disintegrated by Roshan. Yeah, but that's going to be the end of our Razer Academy video for the day. So hopefully you've learned a lot about Prophet. If there's anything which you think I've missed in that one, please definitely spam it up in the chat below. List up your builds for Prophet. Like, what do you like to do when you play Prophet? And what do you like from the players who play Prophet in your team? Do you always get really frustrated, or do you not? How's it all work for you? So yeah, that's Razer Academy for this week. I look forward to seeing you next week. As always, remember to leave your questions in the comment section below, because I'll be using those comments for material in my upcoming stuff. So if you've got a question, if you want to know something about something, ask me the question. Maybe I'll have the answer. Thanks for watching the Razer Academy. I was TobiWanKenobi. I still am TobiWanKenobi. I'll catch you on the next Razer Academy week.